Well, hello. Pandi here of Pandi's Hair Candy and More. If this is your first time stopping by my channel, welcome. If you are already chat family with me, you are already Pandi's Peeps, you already know what it is. Kick back and relax and enjoy this commentary. Now, over here, for the most part, this channel is based on hair, and particularly natural hair, as well as wigs. However, the channel is called Pandi's Hair Candy and More. I have a wide variety of content over here on this channel. You will see anything from TV show reviews, to product reviews, to trending weekly recaps on viral headlines, along with pretty much any and everything that is going to be beneficial to us as a people. Now, with that being said, we are now in June 2020. I want to thank you all for taking a moment to click on this video. If you didn't do so on your way in, please take a moment and blow dry on that like button for your girl. I'd greatly appreciate it, as it greatly helps with my analytics here on YouTube. Now, if you enjoy this commentary, please go ahead and subscribe. It's free after all. It doesn't cost you anything. It is free 99. Now, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do something a little bit different, a little out of the box, a little bit unorthodox, if you will. But I'm going to talk to you guys about Juneteenth, because as I mentioned, we are in June 2020. And looking around on a day-to-day basis, if you're like me and you're watching your local news or your world news, we're seeing a lot of negativity, a lot of violence, and just pretty much a lot of chaos overall. So I decided that that is not going to be my narrative. That is not going to be my history. That is not going to be my future. So I wanted to come on and talk to you all about Juneteenth. Because as I stated, we're in June 2020. So let's move right along and jump right into this commentary. Now, Juneteenth, which is also known as Freedom Day, Jubilee Day, and Cel-liberation Day. Get it? Liberation is an African American holiday that is celebrated on June 19th. On June 19th, 1865, the Emancipation Proclamation, which had been issued on January 1st, 1863, was read to enslaved African Americans in Texas by Gordon Granger. Juneteenth is the oldest nationally celebrated commemoration of the ending of slavery in the United States. Dating back to 1865, it was on June 19th that the Union soldiers, led by Major General Gordon Granger, landed at Galveston, Texas, with news that the war had ended and that enslaved were now free. Note now that this was 2.5 years after President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, which had become official January 1st, 1863. The Emancipation Proclamation had little impact on Texans due to the minimal number of Union troops to enforce the new executive order. However, with the surrender of General LEET in April of 1865 and the arrival of General Granger's reign, the forces were finally strong enough to influence and overcome the resistance. Now, one of General Granger's first orders of business was to read to the people of Texas his General Order Number 3, which began most significantly with this passage right here. And I quote, "The people of Texas are informed that in accordance with a proclamation from the Executive Order of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves absolute equality of rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves, and the connection heretofore existing between them becomes that between employer and hired laborer." End quote. Now, the reactions to this was profound news, and it pretty much ranged from pure shock to immediate jubilation. Now, while many lingered around to learn of this new employer to employee relationship, many left before these offers were completely off the lips of their former masters, attesting to the varying conditions on the plantations and the realization of freedom. Even with nowhere to go, many felt that leaving the plantation would be their first true grasp of freedom. Now, heading to north was the most logical destination, and for many, it represented true freedom, while the desire to reach family members in neighboring states drove some into neighboring communities such as Louisiana, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. Now, settling into these new areas as free men and women brought on new realities and the challenges of establishing a heretofore non-existent status for Black people in America. Now, recounting the memories of that great day in June of 1865 and its festivities would serve as motivation as well as a release from the growing pressures encountered in their new territories. The celebration of June 19th was then coined JUNEteenth, and it grew with more participation from the descendants of the former slaves. The Juneteenth celebration was a time for reassuring each other that, you could do more, you could be more. It was a time for praying for one another. It was a time for gathering the remaining family members of the former descendants of slaves. And Juneteenth continued to be a highly revered festivity and holiday acknowledged in Texas for decades later, with many former slaves and their descendants making an annual pilgrimage back to Galveston on this date to this date. Now, you all, I share that because, as I stated in the beginning, we have a lot going on. We truly do. I am not going to sit here and pretend that all of this craziness that we see going on is not going on. However, what I am going to do is, rather than focus on the negative images that continue to plague us in our media on a daily basis, rather than to shine the light on them and magnify the attention to that, I chose to make a conscious effort to go back to my roots. Roots that bring me a remembrance of self-pride and self-worth. Shine the light on something that is going to make me be happy and proud and grateful for my ancestors who fought the good hard fight, whose shoulders I stand on, that I can now walk with my head high and proud. It is June 2020. Know your history so that you can understand your future. You all, I'm Pandi of Pandi's Hair, Candi, and More. As I stated in the beginning, I want to thank you so very much for clicking on this video. If you've enjoyed this commentary, please don't forget to blow dry on that like button for your girl. And if you really enjoyed the commentary, please subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. It is free 99. Until next time, I will see you all in the next video. Bye now.